Hey, this is Christina. Welcome back. So I am going to give one of the most transparent looks into a piece of my business that I've ever done before. So I'm trying something new because I feel like this is the kind of thing that would have been helpful to me earlier on in my business journey to not only see when you look at what other business owners are doing and when you're trying to learn how things work, a lot of times you only see obviously like what people post online, but there's so much more like setup behind the scenes that that you don't see. And so I want to take you behind the scenes of my most recent lead magnet to grow my email list so that you can see exactly like how I put things together. And I'm going to kind of talk through not only how, but why I did certain things so that you could, potentially, create a similar system for yourself in your business. So I am going to share my screen. Okay. Oh, you can see my million tabs open, right? Okay. So step one, the first thing I did is I used Canva to create a Kajabi Course Launch Checklist. So if you're not familiar with Canva, I highly recommend getting familiar with it because it's a design tool that you can use to create a lot of different assets for your online business. But the nice thing about Canva is that they have some like done for you templates that you can use as a starting point. So that way, when you're designing something, you don't have to design it from scratch. So in my case, I love design. And so I did not use one of the Canva templates, but you certainly can. There's actually a free plan for Canva that includes some templates that you can use completely free of charge. So if you go to canva.com and you type in the search bar, like what the thing is that you're looking to create, Canva will show you the different templates that are available to you. And you can then just take any one of those and customize it with your own content, of course, but then also you can change the branding. So you can change like the pictures and the colors and the fonts and that kind of thing. So if you go to Canva, you can search for like ebook or checklist or planner or workbook, like whatever the type of freebie is that you want to create. I recommend just trying to search for it in Canva and see what they have that you can use as your starting point. So the reason that I created a checklist is because it's really important when you create a freebie for people that it's something that is actionable. So the point of a freebie is not really to just provide information. You want people to be able to consume it, so to speak. So you want them to learn something, but then also be able to implement it so that they can get results. Because if people get results from something that you gave them for free, it makes them, it like whets their appetite. Like it's like, oh, wow, she gave me this free resource. I was able to get a result from it. Like, what else does Christina offer? Hopefully that's what's going through people's heads, right? So think about that when you're trying to decide what resource to give. Is it something that can be not only implemented, but implemented fairly quickly and easily? So you don't want to teach like a long process that involves a lot of different steps, because if you overwhelm people with your freebie, that could backfire. So think of it as like, what's a preliminary baby step that you can give people that will help them just make even a little bit of progress toward their ultimate goal. So that way, when they complete that step, then all of the paid options that you have for working with you are like the natural progression from that freebie. So I know, like for my audience, that people need to have, like a lot of people have asked me for a bird's eye view of the process of creating and launching a course with Kajabi. Like before they dive into the weeds, like creating things, they want to know, okay, like what's the big picture plan? So I created this checklist so that I could tell them before they even start what are the various phases that they need to work through in order to create and launch a course with Kajabi. And then within each phase, what are the steps within each phase? So that's how my checklist is laid out. I wrote here a simple 3-phase roadmap for launching an online course with Kajabi. So I kind of like thought to myself, okay, this is like my long list of steps, right, that people need to take to create and launch a course. And then I divided those steps into 3 groups, so 3 phases, because whenever you can break things down into like smaller pieces, it makes the process more manageable for your audience. So I broke it down into 3 phases so that people can focus on one thing at a time and then know, okay, like when I'm in the first phase, I only have to do like X, Y, and Z. And then they don't even have to worry about what comes next until they finish that first phase. So, that was my train of thought with my lead magnet. For yours, it may not be a checklist, right? It may not be a roadmap, but think about, what are people struggling with right now? Like, what's the very first thing that they need to do to kind of like get the ball rolling with their big picture objective? And then I would make a resource that helps them just with that initial thing that they need to do to get started. Don't worry about like step M or whatever, like try what's step A, what's step 1 for them, and make a resource around that. And I recommend using Canva. There are places online where you can purchase templates for freebies, like Creative Market is one that I use a lot, sometimes even on Etsy, but I recommend just starting with the free options on Canva. Okay, so that's the first thing I did, is I actually created the resource. And if you use a template, this really shouldn't take you that long. Maybe a couple of hours, or maybe use something that you already have in your business. Like, is there some resource that you created that is part of like a coaching program, or, that you gave as a bonus for something? Think about like, do you have anything that you can kind of like repackage and use as a lead magnet? So that's step 1. Step 2 is I created a form in Kajabi. So this is my Kajabi account. I created a form, and what I want to show you is my automations in the form. So two things happen. So I'm going to use this form to collect people's name and email address when they sign up for my freebie. And I'll show you where this form goes, but for now, let's just look at the back end. So I want to ask for people's name and email address. And after they submit the form, I want 2 things to happen in the back end of Kajabi. Like, one is I want to tag them, so they get tagged as having opted into the Kajabi Course Launch Checklist. And then the other thing is I want them to automatically get subscribed to this automated email sequence that I created specifically for the checklist. And I'm going to talk more about that email sequence in a little bit, but for now, I'm just trying to show you chronologically the steps I took that you can follow. So I created the lead magnet, then I created this form in Kajabi. The next thing I did was this the right thing? Let me see. Yes. So I created a landing page for this checklist. So a lot of people that I talk to get a little tripped up with the term landing page. So I just want to speak to that for a minute. So what a landing page is it's basically like a standalone page that lives on the internet. It's not, you can attach it to your website, but it's not necessarily like a website page, because the landing page has a singular purpose, and that is to get people to opt in to whatever it is you're offering. So sometimes that's a freebie. Sometimes it's getting people to register for a webinar or a workshop. Sometimes you can, like, it could be like a paid offer, which kind of then blurs the line between landing page and sales page. But most of the time when you hear the term landing page, it's a page that's dedicated to either getting people to opt into a freebie or to register for an event. So I created this page in Kajabi that's like about getting people to opt in to my checklist. So I have the title, who it's for, a little description of it, a button to get it now. Then I have the kind of like the description of what's included. Then I have a little like bio about myself and like why I created this and who it's for and how it'll help them. And then I have a testimonial, and then I have a mock-up image of the checklist and another call to action for people to opt in. So I want to just talk about like some things on this page that I created versus the standard. Let me just see. I'm going to open the landing page options in Kajabi because I want to talk about like how much information you should be putting on a landing page. So let me just open this for a second. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so Kajabi does have a bunch of free landing page templates. So what I did is I went to website pages, landing pages, and then I clicked, there's a little button in the upper right that says like create new landing page. And it gives you this menu that shows you the templates that Kajabi offers. So if you scroll here, opt-in, that's the same as landing page, okay? So, and then if you click view all, there's actually 14, Kajabi has 14 different templates for landing pages. And some of them are super simple. Like I like this one a lot because it's really simple and it's pretty, I think, McKenna. So if you were to use this page, you can see this page really only has like one section. It has a background photo. It has kind of like a title and a subtitle, and then it asks for people's like name and email address. So if you want to start really, really simple with your landing page for your freebie, you can use something like this, like short, sweet, to the point, and that's totally fine. There's other ones like this one is like that. Again, background photo, box in the middle that has the form plus a little description. A few of the templates are like that. This is also very simple. But then some of them, like this one, you can scroll. So this is a landing page template that has more than one section. It has like a description and a button, but then it goes into a little bit more detail about, you know, what's included or what people will learn in this thing that they're promoting. Then it has nice to meet you and an introduction as, you know, to the business owner. It has 3 testimonials, and then it has a final call to action. So this is kind of more similar to like what I used, where it has multiple sections. So it both starts and ends with the call to action button where people can opt into your freebie. But then in between, it has more information about the freebie, about the business owner, testimonials, that kind of thing. I think that there is another one. Let me see. Like, let's look at this one, streamlined opt-in. Yeah, this is another example of one that has a little bit more detail. So it has the description and the form, but then it goes into these 4 features where you can talk about like 4 different things that people will learn, or 4 things that are included with the freebie, like that kind of thing. And then it has a couple places where you can add some more photos and include more information, either about like, you know, what's included, or what people, you know, how they will benefit, why they should download it, that kind of thing. It has like an FAQ section and a final call to action section. So these are just some examples of like simple opt-in pages, and then ones that have a little bit more information. Eventually, I think it's good to have the one that has a little more information. You don't want to go overboard, because all you're trying to do is get people to opt into something free. So you don't want to make this like crazy packed with too much stuff. But I do think it's nice to have testimonial, like 1 or 2 testimonials on the page if you have them, an introduction of like who you are, what, like how you work with people or who you work with, a couple different calls to action. I think that's nice to have eventually. You don't need to have it right away. Okay, so now that I went on my tangent, so that's how I set up my page with these multiple sections. But again, you just need to have one section. For photos, I am like super into this stock photo site called Hotstock, and I can link to that. I'll link to that below this video. But I think it's really important with whatever you create, like photos make a difference. They give an impression as to kind of like the look and the feel of your overall business and your brand. So I would take some time, not only with the copy of your page, but also the image of your page, and make sure that you choose photos that are in line with the kind of like feel that you want to establish for your business. So you can get free photos, like Canva has quite a large stock photo selection that's available for free. So you can definitely use that. At some point in your business, I do think it's a good idea to invest in a stock photo membership. A lot of the places that sell stock photos like have a membership model where you pay like monthly or quarterly, sometimes annually for a plan. And I think like, I like doing that because you can search for, different colors and styles. And then some image sites are more like specific to certain industries. And I don't want to go on a tangent about that, but I would take some time to select nice photos for your page. And okay, so then the last thing that I want to point out here is how I set up my call to action. So you can see that the form is not embedded on the page. I just have this button that says get it now. You can have the form right there on the page where it says name, email address. But what I did is I set it up as a two-step opt-in. So I created a call to action button on the page. But then here on the bottom, if you look at the bottom left of my screen where it says two-step opt-in, and then I click this edit two-step pop-up, this is what pops up when somebody clicks the button on the landing page. So I have like this another image with the title, and then it says simply fill out the form below and I'll send you my free PDF checklist. And then it has the form there. So that's how I set up mine. But you do not have to do that. If you want, you can just show the form on the page. So I'm just going to click on this call to action button and scroll up. So here, the way I set it up is for button action. I said open two-step opt-in pop-up. So that's how I connected the button with this pop-up that I just showed you. There's one other thing I want to show you here on the pop-up. So if I go to the form, this form is the one that I showed you a few minutes ago, where I set it up so that it would ask for people's name and email address, and that it would have those automations in the back end where it would tag people when they opt into the form, and it would subscribe them to my email sequence. The other thing that I want to show you here is it asks like what thank you page you want to show after people submit the form. So I created a thank you page specifically for this checklist. So it looks like this. It says your Kajabi Course Launch Checklist is on its way to your inbox. Please look out for an email. If you don't see it, check spam and promotions folders. And then I like putting another call to action on my thank you pages. So I say, in the meantime, check out my YouTube channel. In your case, you might want to say, follow me on Instagram or TikTok, or you might want to say like, book a free discovery call with me. Sometimes like people put like a question on the form. So anyway, it could be simple. It does not need to have another call to action. But what I do is I make a duplicate of my landing page in Kajabi because I want my thank you page and my landing page to match. I want them to look the same. So all I do is I duplicate my landing page. I delete all of the sections except the first one so that the format, it's, you can see it's the same background picture. It looks the same, right, as this. I just changed the text to say thank you. So it's something that's really easy to do, to create your thank you page and to have it match your opt-in page. Okay, so I've shown you the lead magnet, the form, how I put the form on the landing page, how you connect the thank you page for when somebody submits the form. So the next thing that I want to show you is I want to talk about the email sequence that gets triggered when somebody submits the form. So if you'll remember, if I go to my form, it says when somebody submits the form to subscribe them to this email sequence. So at the bare minimum, when somebody opts into your freebie, you want to send them at least one email that delivers the freebie, right? So you would say, put like some kind of welcome message and then include your freebie as either an attachment, or you can like link it, do a hyperlink of the text to deliver the freebie. But I recommend having a sequence of, I would say like at least 3 to 5 emails at least, that not only deliver the freebie, but provide an introduction to your business, because your opt-in, like your lead magnet, is more than just getting people on your email list. That's just the tip of the iceberg. After they're on your email list, you want to let them, like, kind of bring them into your world, right? So they may not know anything about you. They might have just come across this link to your freebie and said, yeah, why not? But like, they may not know a single other thing about your business. So this is your chance to introduce them to yourself and your world, because if you just deliver the freebie and then kind of like ghost them, they're probably, the chances that they will continue working with you are a lot smaller. But if you take the time to write a few emails that say, hey, like, I want you to know a little bit more about me. You tell them about your own story, why you created this business, who you work with, how you help people, what results you can get people. You can tell them about what else you offer. You can sometimes provide another surprise little freebie, or tell them where to find you online. Like, are you really active on Instagram? Do you have a blog? Do you have a podcast? Like, give people this information. Don't assume that they've found it all themselves online. Like, take the opportunity in that email sequence to acknowledge that this person might be starting from zero and not know anything about you. So what are the most important things that you want people to know about you? And create an email sequence around that gets triggered when people opt into your freebie. So there is definitely an art to writing those emails and putting in the right information in those emails. And over the years, I have learned a good amount about how to structure and write those emails. But the better you can get at writing those emails in a way that really connects with your ideal client and also gets them really interested in working with you, that is something that I'm still learning. I feel like it's a continuous refinement process, right? So I'm still learning about it from people who are conversion copywriters. And one of the people that I follow, and I'm not going off on a tangent here, this does all tie in, is a copywriter named Liz Wilcox. She's a fantastic, I just admire her talent at copywriting, but also teaching copywriting. And she has a lot of different really affordable resources available to help people with writing the copy in their own business. So I actually used one of her resources for my welcome sequence. So it's called, I'm going to link this below also. It's called the welcome sequence workshop, I think, that I purchased from her. And it includes 2 components. So one is a video. So the video is over 2 hours long. And I feel like this video alone is worth the investment, because she tells you, she kind of gives you the structure of what to write in your emails, but she explains why. She explains the psychology behind each email, and there's a reason for what you're writing, and she tells you what to include, but strategically why that matters. So I think you can learn a ton just from watching this workshop. But then in addition, she gives you like a Google Doc that has the basically the emails written for you. And she it kind of has like, obviously you have to put in your own content, but she gives you suggestions for different subject lines. And then with the body of the email itself, she writes out the structure and you have to like fill in the blank. So it might have like a list of 3 bullet points, and, you know, she'll say like, outline like the 3 benefits of like your program here or something like that. And you write out the 3 bullet points, but it gives you something to work with. So you're not starting from scratch. So what I did is I took Liz's templates, I put in my own information, and this does take a few hours. You know, it took me some time to watch the workshop. It took me some time to customize the emails. And I was writing them out in the Google Doc. Then I copied and pasted the emails from the Google Doc into Kajabi. I set them up as this sequence that I then linked to my form. And but then it's done. You know, it does take a few hours for each of these things. So it's a couple hours to create the lead magnet itself, a couple hours to do the landing page and the thank you page and the form in Kajabi, a couple hours to do the email sequence. But if you're using templates, the process goes faster. So use the Canva template for the lead magnet, use the templates inside of Kajabi for your landing page, use these templates that I'm recommending from Liz for your email sequence. Or if you don't want to use these, there's plenty of other copywriters out there that also offer welcome sequence templates. They're called sometimes like copy swipes. Sometimes it's called a nurture sequence, or an opt-in sequence. It's all the same thing. But using these templates will save you time. And just remember that, yes, it does take time to set this up, but then once it's set up, this is an automated system that's running 24/7 to not only add people to your email list and bring them into your business, but also to welcome them, nurture them, and get them like pique their curiosity for what else, you know, how else they can work with you and learn from you. Okay, so that is the explanation of how I set everything up. Then I just want to quickly show you how I am like kind of like how I'm using it or how I'm promoting it. So, sorry. The first is on my website. So I have links to my checklist in several places. So I have this one in the upper right corner. I have free checklist. Then I also have it right here in this very first section of my site. And then I have one more. Start with a free course launch checklist. So I have 3 links to this checklist on my homepage. And this is something that I see newer business owners like kind of not making their freebie visible enough. Don't worry, like if you have you should have multiple links to your freebie. Like, don't worry that you're being redundant. People just, you know, sometimes they miss the first one, or they want to keep reading and they scroll down and then they don't scroll back up to get to your freebie. So give people multiple opportunities on your site to opt into your freebie. You can also have the freebie linked on like other pages of your site. You can have it linked like at the bottom of blog posts. But besides for your website, I also have my freebie linked in my bio for all of my social media. So it's linked in my Instagram link in bio. It's linked to my Facebook page, like my main call to action for my Facebook page. And I also say it in the banner of my page. Let me just see, how can I show this? I'm opening up my different social media stuff so that I can show you. Okay, let me go back. Sharing my screen again. Okay. So like on my YouTube channel here, in the banner on the right, it says free course launch checklist. So it's linked there. Then on my Instagram, I have my links page, which is this, and I have free Kajabi course launch checklist there. On my Facebook, I made this banner, oops, and it says, click the learn more button to get my Kajabi course launch checklist free download. So I have it linked several places. Okay, so I linked it on my website. I linked it on various social media things. Okay, the other thing that I do is when I participate, like when I'm in a summit or on a podcast or like sometimes a bundle or something like that, when given the opportunity, I share my checklist with other people's audiences. So, you know, a lot of times with a summit or a podcast in particular, at the end of the interview, they say, like, is there anything that you want to share, like any free resources that you have available? That's a great time to promote your freebie. And the other thing that I do sometimes, I don't have it set up right now, but I am going to put it on the footer of my emails. So kind of like in an email signature, like an opportunity for people to opt into my freebie there. So those are some ideas. There's actually a ton of different ways that you can link to a freebie, and you should link to it often in as many places as possible. But those are just some ideas to get your wheels turning. Okay, and then finally, I feel like this is the most important part. So if you've like been distracted, come back to me. The last thing I want to talk about is turning your new leads into sales, because one of the biggest mistakes that I see beginner like business owners make is they deliver the freebie. Maybe they even have this welcome sequence in place, but then after that, they leave the ball in the other person's court and like kind of hope that that person who subscribed to your list and got these emails will come to them and say, you know, how can I work with you? And the thing is, really to make sales, you need to pitch. You need to kind of like not only pitch, but also foster this relationship with people so that they, you know, some of them will come to you asking like how else they can work with you. So I want to talk about a few different ways strategically that I make that transition from getting people to sign up for my lead magnet to eventually wanting to work with me. And again, like there's a lot of different ways you can do this, and there's no way that I can cover all of it, but I'm just going to give you a few ideas of things that I am doing. So the first, this is something everybody should have. Where is it? Oops, here. So if you go like on the last page of your lead magnet, 100% please put a link to something else that you offer, something else that you want to drive traffic to. So in my case, I have a link to a paid offer. So I have a Kajabi course creation mini course. So it is my hope that after people go through this checklist and they have, you know, kind of like they're able to map out their process to prepare for creating and launching a course, that then they will be ready to take the next step, which is actually beginning to work on their course. And I have this offer that is specifically for that. So I have a link within my lead magnet that takes them to the sales page for that mini course. So you do not have to sell something from your lead magnet, but I would direct people to something. So again, this is kind of like what I was talking about earlier on the thank you page. It could be booking a free call. Like if you do discovery calls with people, it could be booking a free call. It could be following you. Like if you have an established presence on some platform, like a social media platform, it could be, you know, following you on that platform. If you put out a lot of content, like on a YouTube channel, a blog, a podcast, direct them to that content so that they can consume that content. If you have a Facebook group or some kind of community, you can link to the community, or you could link to a webinar. Like if you have some kind of evergreen webinar set up, you can link to that, or you can link to a paid offer. So there's a lot of different options, but it would be really intentional. Think to yourself, okay, after somebody completes the steps that you have laid out in the lead magnet, what would be the next logical thing for them to do to learn more about the subject, or to take action and to get support with this bigger picture goal that they're trying to achieve? So that's number one in terms of transitioning leads into warmer leads or sales, is have a call to action at the end of your freebie. The next thing that you could do, and if you're a real beginner and you want to keep this as simple as possible, don't do this yet. I'm just giving you an idea to keep in mind for when you're ready. And that is to create a tripwire. So what that means is, after somebody opts into your freebie, I showed you, where is it? The thank you page, right? So normally they would just see this thank you page saying to go check their inbox to get the freebie. But what you could do is you can kind of have this thank you page serve as both a confirmation that they opted into the freebie, but also a sales page. So you take this opportunity, because people are going to land on this thank you page no matter what. Every single person who opts into your freebie is going to see this thank you page. So this is a great opportunity to get an offer in front of them. So when you get an offer in front of people on the thank you page, that's called a tripwire. So I have an example of this. Let me find it here. Okay, so this is for a different thing that I have. I had a training and template that I had submitted to a bundle, so people could opt into it free through the bundle. And so I have this line at the top. So this is my confirmation page after people opted into my free thing. And it says, all set, your Kajabi list building training and template are on their way to their inbox. But wait, if you're also interested in learning how to create an online course with Kajabi, I have a special offer for you. And so this is basically the sales page for my mini course. But what I did is I reduced the price on this page only. So if they try to buy the mini course anywhere else, through my website or however else I'm selling it, they would pay the full price. But if they take this opportunity to buy it right away through this thank you page, they can get it at a discount. So when you have a tripwire, the most effective way to get people to buy into it is by reducing the price, but letting people know that it's kind of like a limited time thing. They have to buy it right then and there on that page in order to get the discount. So this is method number 2 for turning your leads into either warmer leads or sales. So one is putting a call to action at the end of the freebie itself. The other is using your thank you or your confirmation page as a tripwire page. The third thing is in my email sequence. So this, what I am showing you here, this is my, I think it's the third email of my email sequence. I have a link to my mini course. So this email is kind of what to expect from me. And I say one of the things is both free and paid resources to make the process of growing your business with Kajabi clearer and easier for you. So I have a link to my Kajabi course creation mini course, which is a paid offer, but I also have a free thing, or this YouTube video on 5 ways to launch your course faster. So I do think it's a good idea within your email sequence to get people to take another step. So just like I was saying with all the other methods, that step could be buying something that you sell, or that step could be somehow getting more involved with you, through your group, through a discovery call, consuming your content online. But you want to deepen the connection with that person and not just leave them hanging after they opt into your freebie. And then the fourth thing that I want to say, I'm just going to stop the screen share now. and this I really feel is honestly the most important and the most strategic way that I nurture my new leads. And again, it's something that I don't see people doing a lot. And that is that I am really, really consistent about sending emails to my list every single week. And so that little initial sequence I have of those 5 emails, that's just the beginning, so that's like the introduction. But I deepen the relationship with the people on my list by keeping in touch, staying visible, providing, like tips, more resources, recommendations, offers, ways to work with me, links to things I create. So I really feel like that has been the most effective way I've grown my business, honestly, is by not just these free offers that I have, but it's like what I do after the free offer. And that is nurturing that know, like, and trust factor so that people really get to know that I'm here to help, who I can help, how I can help them, what are their options for working with me, and developing like that trust factor and that authority factor is really huge. So I highly recommend that you do the same, where you set up this system for promoting and delivering a lead magnet and welcoming people into your list, but also then use the broadcast feature in Kajabi, or, if you use another email service provider, but just keep in touch with regular, if not weekly, then maybe every other week. Keep in touch with your audience, whether it's, pitching something paid or providing free content and value, stories even about like what's going on in your business. That is all really what ultimately I think strengthens your business and prepares you for when it comes time to launch like your course or your signature offer. All of that work that you've put in up front like puts you in a much better position to make sales when it comes time to do the launch. So I hope this was really helpful. Please comment below if it was helpful. If you like this kind of thing, I would be happy to do more behind the scenes looks at my business.